Hey everyone, this is Derek Bros with the Conscious Resistance Network. Today I want to talk to you a bit about Dr. Oz, genetically modified food, and a group of doctors who are asking Columbia University to remove him from their faculty. So this all started about a month or two ago when a British medical journal analysis of 40 random episodes of the Dr. Oz show found that his recommendations were supported by evidence only 46% of the time. So this means that for 54% of the episodes, recommendations that he was making to people on his show were not backed by medical evidence. So this has led to tons of backlash where people are saying he needs to stop calling himself a doctor. This group of doctors, 10 doctors, they sent a letter to Columbia saying, please remove this man from your staff. He's quack. He promotes new age nonsense and things like that. Now, to be certain, I am not here as a supporter of Dr. Oz. I think this dude is a TV doctor, and you really should look beyond just what TV doctors are promoting, especially that's somebody that's tied to Oprah and maybe some other things. But more recently, I would say that Dr. Oz has actually been speaking some sense into the television audience. But this particular situation is actually bigger than him, and it's bigger than whether or not you believe his ideas to be based on nonsense or quackery, or if you think it's to be legitimate. Because what's happening here is basically people are attempting to silence him. He said that these doctors are seeking sensational headlines and sound bites and attacking him. He's had to speak in front of Congress a couple of times to defend his claims, and the doctors specifically say that his stance on GMO labeling is controversial and should lead to his removal. Now, in my view, calling for labeling of GMOs is not very controversial at all. You're just asking to label. There's methods to support this through third party, the non-GMO project. You can do self-labeling. You can support community-supported agriculture and local farms that don't use GMOs if you're worried about it. There's plenty of people who are concerned about these effects. I'm not going to get into this video whether or not GMOs are healthy or whether or not you believe that. But I will say the idea that GMOs are going to save the world has been heavily debunked. Test me, respond to it, prove me wrong. But Dr. Oz's stance simply saying that, hey, genetically modified apples, could be dangerous. We don't really know the effects of these things. I mean, he's asking questions. Isn't that what we should all be doing? And instead, what we're seeing is these doctors are trying to silence him. And thankfully, Dr. Oz recognizes that this isn't just about him, that this is about freedom of speech, and they're trying to shut him down. He held a show the other day where he said that the doctors associated with this letter are speaking on behalf of big corporations and telling big lies on their behalf. One interesting thing to note here, Gilbert Ross, who's one of the main doctors who signed the letter, and he's the acting president and executive director of the American Council of Science and Health, which has previously received grants from Monsanto. And, I think that's pretty much all we have to say right there. One of the doctors who's promoting this letter calling for Dr. Oz to be removed from Columbia University's staff is tied to Monsanto in the biotech industry. And I'm sure if we look further in this, we'd probably find some more connections. And that alone, I think, is reason to pause and to look at the situation from a different light. Again, remove your feelings and your emotions about what you think about Dr. Oz or TV doctors or even GMOs, and just look at the situation and see that there is corruption going on, and these people are trying to use this issue, which is not so simple, and they're trying to butcher this man. And you know what? I don't watch TV. I'm sure Dr. Oz has promoted some quackery or nonsense, but there also are a lot of beneficial treatments that are outside of the Western medicine's scope and vision, and they tend to call anything quackery or nonsense that they can't sell to you in a pill bottle, that they can't prescribe to you for the rest of your life. So use your critical thinking, look beyond what the headlines are saying, and when it comes to this Dr. Oz situation, we'll see how this unfolds. But I think it's a great example of how the media spins an issue and makes it either about the person. They obscure the fact of what's really going on, which is that we have these giant corporations that are afraid that somebody with a large audience is speaking out against them and calling for labeling. And they know that that could hurt their profits. And that's what really matters. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Thank you guys for watching. As always, if you can hear this, you are the resistance. Peace.